Hey everybody, good Thursday morning. Hope you guys are doing well. First Hawks Nest stream tonight starts at 8. Should be right near the end of the Thursday night football game, which is not a great game anyway. But we are going to be starting a little later tonight because of the Thursday night football game. We're going to preview this Cardinals game. We're going to talk about some of the things we might need to do to win. We're going to talk about what we can expect from Arizona. And hopefully by the end of it, we'll have some idea of what to expect from this team. So tune in tonight. I think you guys are pretty familiar with how we do things. If that sounds like a good time to you, then come on by. Okay. So, pass coverage Thursday. What do we have? Well, it wasn't so bad. It was not so bad this week, mostly because the Saints didn't throw the ball a ton. They ran the ball a lot, and they had a lot of success running. So it wasn't like the previous week with Goff, who just had to keep throwing and throwing and throwing just to try to keep up. No, there were a couple of clear issues in coverage. I'm not going to say it was a good game for the pass coverage, but we didn't get murdered the way we have. So that's good. Trying to find some silver linings here with this defense that is currently 31st in the league. I guess that's the best you can do. Another silver lining, the linebackers held up. Jordan Brooks, he gave up a couple completions, of course, including the one that basically decided the game. But body of work-wise, you take a look at the numbers, 29 yards allowed in coverage. That is way better than what he's been doing. He is still on pace to give up over 1,000 yards in coverage this year. Still getting burnt overall. His body of work is atrocious. But he actually was able to prevent a completion on a couple of targets this week, and he only allowed 29 yards overall. Cody Barton gave up a couple completions as well. Still, the body of work is awful. But if you take a look at how much he actually got beaten this game, it was, a little bit better. He didn't give up anything huge. He didn't do anything over-the-top terrible in this game. It was just kind of meh. It was just kind of whatever. And I still say he's playing atrocious this year. I know PFF kind of defended him a little bit, but this game was a little bit better, I guess. At least he didn't do anything that made me wonder why he's even playing football as a profession. Taylor, Nwosu, Mafe, they didn't get targeted in coverage at all, so not involved here. So at the end of the day, you're stepping back, taking a look at this linebacker core, and you're saying, okay, they didn't get completely gutted in coverage this week. So we're off to a decent start there at least. Again, it doesn't mean a whole lot when one of the reasons why is that you got run all over and other people on your defense are getting beat up a little bit, but this is an improvement. We're starting from a pretty low bar here. We have a low bar to clear, but I think we kind of cleared it. Okay, cornerbacks. Artie Burns got targeted for the first time this year, did not allow the completion. He didn't play a lot, but I guess he's off to a good start there. Sidney Jones didn't play. Tariq Woolen, his overall season numbers are still killer. He's allowing 50% completion. He's allowed 152 yards on 20 total targets, which I'll take that from an outside corner any day. I know the penalties are there too. I know he has accrued some penalty yardage, but still good. Especially if they're going to get him for the garbage penalty they got him for in that Saints game. That's a nonsense call, absolutely garbage call. Luckily, it didn't materially affect the game, I don't think. And he had another interception. Gave up a couple completions, gave up some yards. If you take a look here, 15, no problems there. And QB rating against is about 36. And Michael Jackson, he got beat a couple times early in the game for moderate completions, but overall, he only gave up a few catches. He's at 110 yards allowed for the season. And look, your two starting corners right now, your two starting corners combined, 20 completions allowed through 5 games, 38 targets, so just over 50% completion. Total number of yards allowed in coverage, less than 300, about 260 actually, not even close. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. You're doing well. Part of the reason why you're doing well is other people are getting beat pretty badly. I understand that. I understand that to a certain extent, why would anybody go after our corners when they can go after our linebackers? But we are getting great mileage out of Woolen and Jackson through 5 games, no doubt about it. Unfortunately, another culprit there is the fact that Kobe Bryant is still getting his breaks beaten off in coverage. He's been targeted 19 times for 13 completions, which is not the worst, but he's getting roasted in terms of what he's allowing. 277 yards. In this most recent Saints game, he got beat for 80 total yards in coverage on a few completions. Gave up a touchdown, which honestly, I'm not going to hold that against him. He is, at the end of the day, pretty much right there. He has his hand right there. It's just a great catch and a very close catch by Olave, so I'm not mad at Kobe for it, but it is a touchdown that he allowed, and his QB rating allowed is still up at about 147. So, again, I think he's miscast, but these are the actual factual results of his coverage so far. And Ryan Neal, who played a lot against the Saints, I think he played every snap. He got targeted a handful of times, 5 times, 3 completions. Only allowed 7 yards, though. So Ryan Neal doing fine in coverage. Overall, his QB rating dropped to just below 100. QB rating allowed, QB rating against, whatever. And that completely stems from the fact that he's happened to allow 2 short touchdowns. If you take that off the board, I mean, we were talking about a guy who's been targeted 11 times in coverage and has only been docked for 29 yards. That is actually really excellent. And as much as Ryan Neal is not my favorite at safety, I think he's a better corner than safety. He is miles better than what we were getting there before, so we gotta go with it. Speaking of safeties, which is where Ryan Neal is playing for the moment because that's where we need him, Quandre Diggs got dinged a couple times in this game, gave up a couple completions, including the touchdown to Troutman. I think that's his name, Troutman, Adam Troutman. So he gave up a touchdown in coverage. He didn't have a very good game in general, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. I still say if you look at the body of work through 5 games, he's not playing poorly in coverage. His QB rating obviously almost doubled, or actually maybe more than doubled from this one game because he gave up the touchdown. But overall, I'm looking at it and I'm kind of thinking to myself, yeah, he's missing tackles, but he is a safety trying to tackle guys who are bigger than him. And there are so many problems in the front 7. It's hard for me to blame Diggs, the guy who's actually been really good for us over the last 2.5 years. Since Diggs got here, I would argue that he's probably been our best player collectively. Over that, we're coming up on a 3-year span. The only other guy who I think you could even debate is Wilson. And Wilson's had extended stretches where he was playing badly. So I'm not going to just turn on Quandre Diggs completely because of a few bad games when I know there are a ton of problems that he is probably trying to cover up. But still, not a good game for him, really. And Josh Jones did play a little bit, but did not get targeted in coverage, so we're clean there. And that's it for pass coverage Thursday, so not bad. The only guy who really got beat up, I think, was Kobe. And even, by the way, he forced a fumble. He's got 3 forced fumbles on the year, which is not going to show up here. That's impact. That's impact that you got to give a guy some real credit for. So I think that as the year goes on, especially if he moves back to a natural position, like outside corner, he will get better. And everyone else, mostly fine, except maybe Quandre. And even Quandre, not that bad. You're going to give up a touchdown eventually on this defense. And I'm going to see you guys later. Go Hawks.